Tyler here again. Let's look at week 6. We are over the hump, over halfway through Rooted. So what a blessing. What a blessing it's been. I hope it's been great. As always, if you have questions or ways that I can help you, please let me know. But let's look at this week. Welcome, of course, at the beginning. One thing that you can do from last week, just kind of discuss what maybe happened last week with the Strongholds experience. You don't have to discuss any specifics or anything like that, but maybe just say, is there any new ways God has been speaking to you from last week, or any new thoughts you have as you kind of have worked through or decompressed after that experience that God maybe is speaking to you. So you can start with that. Have someone share their story. Hopefully this has been good. It's been great in my group, so I'm thankful for that. The introduction questions in the book here are good. Who do you know that reflects the heart of Jesus and the way they live their life? And what would Jesus do in your community today? Where would he spend his time? So again, who do you know that reflects the heart of Jesus and the way they live their life? And what would Jesus do in your community today? Where would he spend his time? I think those questions are great. They help you lead into serving and our purpose. Really, that was kind of the discussion of the week, was our purpose and how we can serve out of our purpose. So the discussion, continue to evaluate what works well, whether it's just going day by day and saying what sticks out to you, whether it is looking at specific questions that were asked or that people journaled about throughout the week, whatever works best for you, continue to lean into that. But the focus this week should really be on why we serve and how best to serve others based on some of our gifts. Now, next week, I think it says something in there about taking a spiritual gifts assessment. You will take that for next week. So no one has to take one of those yet. If anyone asks about that, just let them know that we're going to be taking a spiritual gifts assessment between week 6 and week 7. So in preparation for week 7. And then also, focus on our purpose and how if we serve out of our purpose, it's much different than just doing things. So often as Christians, we know we should do the right things, we just do it. But yet when we serve out of our purpose, out of how God has created us, how God has gifted us, then it makes so much difference. So towards the end here, you're going to spend some time working through this purpose diagram. So you can see in this purpose diagram, this is what they have in the book. Talks about your passions and values, your network and relationships, skills and gifts, and stories and experiences, and how some of those things overlap. I have an additional document that I will send you, or I can print off for you, that you should take into your groups and spend a little bit of time after this discussion. So maybe the discussion can be just a little bit shorter this week. Spend some time after the discussion, having people work through some of the things that they see as far as passions, values, networks and relationships, skills and gifts, and stories and experiences. What we've done in the past is have people write some things out. Those are all independent. So when it comes to having people do this, have people write some passions and values that they could see that they have that could apply to their purpose, right? So the hope is that you're just starting to list out things that you see in your life, in your story, in your experiences that have impacted you, that could lead into your purpose and how God has asked you to serve and to love and to care for others. After you give people maybe 5 minutes or so to work through that, of course, they're not going to get it all the way done. Then maybe pair up with 1 or 2 other people and just talk through some of the overlaps you see and how God may be moving in your life through that. Okay. So that's after the discussion. Work through your purpose diagram, discuss that in a smaller group. Again, week 7, take a spiritual gifts assessment. Here's the link for that. I will link that in the video or in the email for this week, so you can send it out to people for next week. Your serve experience, many of you have that upcoming. I'm going to send out another video here and an additional email to make sure you are ready for that. Remember, week 8 is the gathering that you'll just have your normal small group, but I'm going to order pizza and some food for you guys. So I'll be in contact with you on more specifics as far as what that week looks like. But for right now, just remind people that you're going to have a meal together on the 1st of November. The celebration is going to be on November 19th. We're going to have it at 5:30 p.m. It'll be maybe an hour and a half, somewhere in there. We'll have a nice catered meal. We'll do a couple of worship songs, and then some people will come up and share some next steps for you guys. And then hopefully we'll have some people do, oh boy, the fire alarm just went off. Hopefully this didn't ruin the video. We'll have some people do their cardboard testimonies. So make sure people RSVP for this. Please. And then at the end, make sure you pray. I think some of these prayer models, whether that's the pray from week 3 or just popcorn prayer or having someone else pray that normally prays, those are great ways to stretch your group. And then we need to talk about sticking together. So we're already over the hump, like I said here, and our hope has always been that you would not just do this and then move on, but that you would stick with this group or stick in some group. So we need to begin discussing this. If you are interested in sticking with the group you're currently in, please let me know. If you're not, no pressure at all. But then we need to start thinking if there's someone else in the group that could help lead it. And then this week, I would encourage you to ask if your group might be open to it. You don't need to have answers immediately. You don't need to have answers right now, but just put it out there. Just say, hey, Tyler really, really wants us to stick together. The church really wants us to stick together. Begin thinking about if there's something that you would like to do. So the plan with that then is we'll finish up Rooted and then have about the Christmas season off, about a month off there. And then we're going to start another Rooted session in the spring. And you're going to have another Rooted study that you could follow up with. So you could do that in a 10-week period. You could do another study yourself, whether it's a Right Now Media study, reading a book of the Bible, whatever it is. My hope is that your group will stick together, or at least some of your group will stick together. So as far as the content goes, we'll talk about it. As far as the location goes, we'll talk about it. But for right now, just start talking about what that might look like to stick together. I'm sorry if this was really loud at the end, but let me know if there's anything I can do. Very, very thankful for you guys. Let's keep serving and loving people together.